Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another great machine on the VulnHub, which is DC-9. The link will be put in the video below so that you can download it and play it on your own. I will be showing a lot of very useful and important techniques. For example, I not only demonstrate how to use readily available utility like SQLMap to perform SQL injection, but also I will manually exploit or perform SQL injection. Before we get started, however, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now let's head over to Kali Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. Alright, so as you can see here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 254. So what shall we do next? We need to perform port and self-scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already done that before. So now we can simply get out its result. As you can see here, I took the options like scene scan, default script scan, the version scan, and then full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, just I'm doing now. From the map scanning results, we can tell that the target has only one open port at this moment. The open port is 80 and the surface HTTP. And also we can get its version information, including its exact version number, Apache 2. I think you also can notice the state of 22 filtered. A bit interesting. So I think it's very clear what we are going to do next. We need to perform web enumeration manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. Press enter. Oh, sorry, I should disable the proxy in advance. So now we can refresh. So this example.com staff details home. We can click all of links here. So we get the display all user information, Mariam, July, Fred, and also we can search like Fred, submit, so we can get back the search results. And also on the right, we can log in to manage records. For example, we can use admin as username, admin as password to log in. But at the top, we get this error, invalid error. And also we can try to use login bypass technique. Anything, submit. However, we still get the error or invalid message. Let's go back to home page. As usual, we need to check its source code, since sometimes we can get very important information from the source code, but it's not this case. So next, we can retrieve the robots file from the target machine. If it's there, not found, next we can launch Ligoto to perform web enumeration comprehensively. So as you can see here, we can get the version information aperture 2, although we have already know that, right? And config PHP. Let's access this discovered page, but nothing returned, which is fine. Includes. So what's that? Includes directory. Includes. Nothing here. Next, let me launch GoBuster to perform directory enumeration. Okay, and almost immediately GoBuster found some pages like a search, but we have already found that, right, during our enumeration, manual enumeration. Display, results, logout, config, manage. Although the several pages which have been discovered, but none of them can present value to us. Anyhow, I'm going to interrupt GoBuster to save time of this video. So we have already completed the UU enumeration with web application, but so far nothing very exciting. So let's go back. We need to find the, we need to gather or, collect more information or try to find vulnerabilities. Let's go back to the home page. The search just now, we can submit a keyword. So possibly here exists SQL injection. To test, we can take two approaches. The first one is readily available utility SQLMap, and also we can test it manually. And in this video, I'll be demonstrating two approaches. Manual exploitation can help us better understand this vulnerability. Okay, so now, how to, use readily available utility to perform such testing. Let me show you the most convenient way. We can turn the proxy to Burp Suite, and then we can launch the Burp Suite Community Edition. Click Next. Start Burp Suite. And we can navigate to Proxy tab, then enable Intercept option. Now we can trigger a new request like a thread and submit. So now Burp Suite has intercepted this request. We can save this request to file, and we can limit to anything. Then we can bring back the terminal window and launch SQLMap. And I can use, because I've already done such testing earlier, and my machine has cached data. So this time, this testing is done very quickly. Anyhow, from the output, we can tell the target machine has SQL injection vulnerability. Next, we can use the option DBS to retrieve all databases on the target machine. So there are three databases. The first one is a schema. Of course, this database is very essential when we manually exploit this vulnerability. Later I will show you. And there are two other databases we can copy. Let me note them down to notebooks. So now we can try to retrieve all tables of this database. So just one table, and so we can use the uppercase T to specify the table name, and then we can dump all data. And I think we can get last name, password, username, registration date, first name. Let me copy all this information and save it to file. Like we can save it to our working directory, DC-9, DC-9 here, users data. Okay, put it aside for a while. Now I'm going to enumerate the another database. You know, the another database is staff, to see what we can get, right? Staff tables, and the two tables, so we can use the uppercase T to dump the first table, dump, and we can get phone, last name, position. But in this table, no password field is found. So maybe it's not very useful. So how about the users table? Users table, dump. No. So we get the username and the password. Although just now we have already got back the username and password. In most circumstances, admin user has the most or highest privilege. Okay, and this is the, I think this is the hashed password we can copy, and you can use John the Ripper, or you can use Hashcat. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to use crack station in online service to crack. Okay, very easy. We can get the result, and we can put over here. So now I think we can log in to the web application with these credentials. Let's do it now. We can turn off intercept option, and we can manage, and the username is admin, and the password, we can copy this password. We logged in as admin. So beautiful. But at the bottom, we find this message: file does not exist. Very weird. Why? What's happening? And we can add a record, manage, search. So what's going on here? Although we have already got access to this web application as admin, but nothing different in comparison to the default, or in comparison to the applications for guest. However, file does not exist. So this message implies maybe this page exists for inclusive vulnerability. And to find out the parameter, we need to use a fuzzing technique. So how to do? Of course, to test or fuzzing, make a successful fuzzing, Then in this case, we need to, we need to use the fuzzing tool like wfuzz accompanied by cookie. Otherwise, we can't find anything, right? So how to do? Let me show you. We can copy and use wfuzz to -c color output the URL, and we can use the fuzz. This is the placeholder, and we can test the password file. And we need to, of course, you can take any word list. I always use this word list. Medium. But just I mentioned earlier, we have to specify the cookie. So how to specify the cookie? We can use the H option. Yes, use the B option to specify the cookie. So where to get the cookie? You can get a cookie from the Burp Suite, and also alternatively we can open the inspect tool and to navigate to storage. So this should be key value pair. We can copy the key name and equals to the value. Oh, sorry. Should be this one. We can copy and put over here. Let's press enter. A lot of output. So this means we need to put additional option HW100. Let's hit enter again. Okay, so without too much time, we have already found the parameter name file, and now we can pass this parameter like a file. Password. We successfully retrieved this password file. But I don't like browser. I don't like using browser to, to exploit this file inclusion vulnerability. We can use command line of Q. Let's copy. But again, similarly, we need to specify the cookie. And the option name is also B, and we can copy this cookie. Let's press enter. I think it's working, and the many many users, because at this moment SSH service is running, or 22 port is closed or filtered. We can't make like brute forcing. So how to do next? I think we have already done similar machines. If the state is filtered, this means the target machine adopts some kinds of port locking. In other words, to make the port open, we need to make port locking. And the key is to get the order of such ports. And such information or such configuration should be live in the knockd configuration file. Okay? And then we can utilize this, this local file inclusion vulnerability to, to retrieve its configuration file. Okay, let me show you what I mean. And we can access its knockd config, and then we can get the order or sequence of ports to let this port open. We can copy. Sorry, I forgot to do one thing. Let me show you how to manually perform SQL injection vulnerability. Okay, very quickly, let me show you some simple examples. Let me go back to the browser and log out, and we can search, and we can enable this intercept option, and we can put anything, submit, and then we can send this request to repeater module, and we can, for example, we can try. So how to test such SQL injection? And I will open up this link. This is very wonderful when you try to manually exploit SQL injection. Okay, for example, I can use the all 1 equals 1 and the dash and space. So double hyphen. This will come out and everything after it. Okay, will come out everything after. So now we can send. As you can see, we can get all records. And next, we can know how many columns, and we can use the order by, for example, 10. Also, we can use another symbol hash to come out everything up, and we can send. However, 0 results. So this means the quantity of columns 10 is incorrect. So we can reduce this number, for example, to 6. Send, and then you can get the results, right? So this means the 6 is correct. Also, you can check the 7. So 0 results. And now we have already got the how many columns are involved. Next, we can utilize the ulim select. For example, ulim select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can get the current database name. Send. So the database name is staff. And similarly, you can feed more payload like this one. We can retrieve all databases names. We can retrieve the table names, column names, and retrieve data. To save time of this video, I'm not going to demonstrate all of that. You can try it themselves, okay? But I think you have got my idea, okay? So let's go back to Canini's VM. So far, we have already got the order. So how to make knocking? You can take different ways, like you can use the map and one by one, right? And also you can use Python. But the most effective way is to utilize this utility knock, followed by the IP address of the target machine. And we can copy this sequence of ports, but we need to remove this comma. Okay, press enter. Now if you run Nmap again, you will see now SSH service is running. Great. So now we can, but the next question is, we didn't get the credentials for this SSH service. However, just now we have already got this kind of data. And we can create the password dictionary and also username dictionary. And you can process this information manually, but I'm going to use some command line to speed up this process, so we can cat, and let me use a WK curly brace print. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Okay, so this should be. Oh, I think this one is. It's okay. I think we can. It's okay. Maybe grep password. So now we can save it to password. Similarly, we can create username dictionary. And the column should be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 11. Oh. Oh, not this one. Okay. Okay, and then we can save it to usernames txt, and then we can launch Hydra usernames uppercase P to specify password dictionary, SSH surface, and IP address of the target machine. Let's press enter. This will take a bit of while. Let me pause the recording. All right, I'm back. As you can see, we successfully retrieved 3 sets of combinations of username and password. Sorry, I had I had one mistake. Just now, I forgot to put the option of -v. Otherwise, this password dictionary is incorrect. So anyhow, we have already got 3 sets or 3 combinations of username and password. Let's SSH to the target machine. SSH, and we can copy this username. Copy its password. Nothing here. We can run sudo. Nothing here. Maybe we can use another combinations of username and password to SSH. You know, different user possibly has different privilege. And sudo. Nothing different. SSH. So how about this one? Janitor. We can copy. And copy the password. This time we found something different. Secrets for putting. Interesting. Secrets. And now, oh, passwords found on post-it notes. So maybe we can append these new passwords to password dictionary, what we've created earlier, right? We can append, so we can vim password. Save, paste, right, and quit. Let's launch Hydra. Again, user names, password dictionary, SSH. Press enter to see whether we can crack a password for another user. We found another compilations of username and password, so we do not need to wait. SSH Fred, and we can supply his password. Now we can run sudo. So we can run this file to elevate privilege. Let's check this file. We can copy. Current user has execution permission however, without modification permission. And we can check its type. So this is 62-bit. Sorry, not. This is 64-bit Linux executable. So let's run it to see about what it's about, right? This is the usage. Python. Very weird. So it means this executable comes from Python script. Let's go to opt directory. We find this test Python script. Let's get out this Python script. Very simple Python script. So just, this program can accept 2 arguments. The first argument, so we'll read out this, for example, something or file, and then we'll write, append this information, this data to the second argument. Okay, so I think the privilege escalation would be very easy. We can write a new line to the password file, and this new line contains new user, and this new user has the root privilege. Let me show you what I mean. Cat password, and we can copy the first line, and we can, of course, you can use any username like JSON, but also we need to create the encrypted password, sudo open. So the -i means MD5, although this command can support other types of hashes. Okay, the sort value and the password itself, so that we can copy and replace this X. We can copy this line, and we can echo. We can use any name like a new user. Now we can run sudo copy and temp new user. I want to append the content of this file to the password file. No error. Now we can switch user to JSON. This is our created new user. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It does work. Fantastic. Then we can grab the flag without any difficulty. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye.